Whoa, whoa, whoa. We are live, ladies. We are live. So, viewers, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're watching us from. And we are saying compliments of the season to all our Christian sisters and brothers as we prepare for Christmas. I know everybody is actually getting ready, in the mood for celebration. But in the middle of that celebration, we are also thinking about, business. We're thinking about ourselves. We're thinking about our life. We're looking at our life holistically from, when we came to the diaspora initially, and which is more or less the story of everyone else, currently who are just, leaving their motherland to come to, foreign country to seek greener pasture. So this evening we are going to be touching on an important topic. Actually, it's a topic that is actually very, very relatable to a lot of us being immigrants and living in the diaspora. So for those of us in this business that were born in this country, I would say kudos to you. We don't envy you, but for us, we know we are coming with energy. We Africans were full of energy. Wherever we find ourselves, the place bubble. Like we shake it down, to the roots. As in, we bring life, we bring, excitement to everything that we do. The smile, the vigor, the temperament also is part of it. So, guys, looking at our topic today, we are looking at overcoming employment barrier, you know, as an immigrant. So that takes me back, should I say, 25 years, going 30 years. I have been living in the diaspora for 30 years. And I remember when I came to this country newly, United Kingdom precisely, I was fully qualified from my country as a midwife and as a nurse. So when I came to this country, guys, it was near impossible to find any place that will accommodate me, as a trained professional in quote, because the certificates we were coming from with, we came to the country with, were not, for them, it didn't actually, it didn't meet the purpose. I wouldn't say that it didn't qualify us, but it was not enough. So a lot of us find ourselves having to retrain. Me particularly, when I came to the United Kingdom many, many years ago, well, I'm saying, almost 30 years ago, you know, there was no place for what we were asked to do, which is called adaptation, right? When you leave a country, you come to another country, you have to adapt to the way, they do things. So, guys, this is the kind of situation we find ourselves. And a lot of us living in diaspora now, we come from that background of, oh, you know, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know where I was going, but I followed the blueprint. I followed the process. I followed, the way they were asking us to do things, not the way I know how to do it or how we've been doing it from the country where I'm coming from. So, overcoming those barriers, it took a while. It took us a while. As in, you have to really, really be determined, process the whole thing, internalize it. So a lot of people actually eventually left. They went back to Africa many, many years ago because they were like, oh, this is too much. I don't need to go through all of this. But for those of us that stayed, we have to actually follow the due process. We have to follow the system. We have to conform to the way, the pattern that things were being done. So the same thing we were able to actually overcome, and that is what we did, that was able to overcome all these barriers. Some of them were, some people they have language barrier, some people they have communication barrier, some people they had, family barrier. All sorts of barrier were just facing us. And sometimes it's like you do things, it's as if you don't know how to do it. You speak, they will say you're shouting, and or you're too loud. All sorts of barriers was just right there on our face. But again, You are in a foreign country. You're not used to their system. They are not used to you. So everybody have to learn and unlearn. So, this is what the story was for a lot of us until we got used to it, until we then went through the process, and we were able to now, adapt ourselves to the way things were done in United Kingdom. Yes, we were a Commonwealth country, yet the only thing that I found when I came to this country that was similar or that was close to similarity was the fact that it's English. We speak the same language. That is the only thing that I said that was good. Every other thing that I came with, I had to go and undo everything and undo them so that I can actually, be relevant within the system. So, guys, and for me, I didn't want to go and do any other job. I just wanted to practice as a midwife or as a nurse. For me to do that, it is either I go back and retrain for 3 years, or I find a place or a hospital that can accommodate me to do what we call adaptation program. Okay. And luckily, after so many rejection, which is also part of the barrier we're talking about, eventually I found somewhere that actually gave me that footstool, for me to climb on. And today, not only have I actually, gone through the process, not only have I actually raised my children within this process, not only have I actually, raised other people within the process, but now I was able to also do what? Take an early retirement, because why? I found another process, which is another business, which I have found. So the same, exuberant, the same commitment, the same mindset that I took with me when I was actually going through those barriers. It's the same mindset that I'm actually applying into my business when I found this business online. Because with this business, you have to follow the blueprint if you want to succeed. Just in as you follow the blueprint, when you were doing all those things, you were going through those process, and you got to where you are. So also in business, we have to follow the blueprint, because for us in our business, you have everything laid out there for you. You have the system, you have the the platforms, you have sales funnel, you have the training, you have the community, you have so much laid out there for you. You just have to follow, the process. And in doing that, you will actually succeed. You have the same success you had in your personal life, in your career life. So, much ado about nothing, guys. My name is Mary. I'm a mom of three, and my background is midwifery. And though I'm retired now, because I'm actually now building, a legacy for my family through this online digital business that I found a couple of years ago. So I'm going to pass it on to my colleagues who are here, my panelists. They're going to be talking to you how they overcome the barrier of employment when they came to the country where they reside. Mind you, we are not all in the same country. Some people are from Italy, some people are in Spain, some people are in Australia, some people are far and wide, but they're all doing this business. So I'm going to call my first, speaker, Clement, to, tell us, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about how you overcome employment barrier. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mary. Yeah, my name is Clementine Mutono. I am from Kenya, but I live in Italy. I am a cook by profession, but I also run this digital business is a side hustle. Yes, just like everybody else, I had challenges, and my biggest challenge was the language. Coming from Africa, coming from Kenya, where we spoke English and Swahili and my local languages, it was very challenging being in Italy. And when I landed in Italy, I wasn't fluent in Italian, or rather, I did not know Italian language. What I had was just the pre-preparation of like visitors language, where you have to know just a few words. Yes, and this was a big barrier because I could not I couldn't be social with people. I felt like I was afraid. I was always confined to myself. I did not want to interact with people because I did not understand the language. Yeah, and here in Italy, we speak. Everybody knows about Italy. Yeah, we speak a lot, and people are very social. People were willing to speak to me, but I wasn't. Uh, Personally, I am very talkative. I'm very interactive. I'm welcoming. I like being social, but that was a big barrier not knowing Italian language. Yes, and from my experience, even finding a job with the difficulty of not knowing a language, it was a big challenge. I could not even apply for jobs because I didn't even know how to speak. So for interviews, I could not even go for interviews. Yes, so it is always advisable to learn a language prior to traveling to a certain country. If you know you're preparing to go to a certain country, like for example, you're going to Spain, they speak Spanish there. It's advisable to learn the language prior to going there so you can adapt much faster. And also, it's important to get a job immediately. Yes, and also interaction with people. You can't express yourself if you don't know a language. You can't express yourself. There is no much thing you can do in a foreign country when you don't know their language. Yes, and this connecting to our business. Normally, in this business, you can do this business where it's normally we have our training done in English. So English is the basic language of this business. But still, you can do, we use also other languages, but not the first language. Our first language is English. But still, you can do it when you speak Spanish, French, and some other few languages. So if you don't know English, it's advisable to learn English so that you can reach also English because to be real, English is spoken widely in the world. Wherever you travel to, you're able to use English. Almost everywhere, English is spoken. So it is very advisable to learn English so that you can run this business and be able to reach most people possibly. Yes, that's all what I had to say. Back to you, Mary.
Okay, thank you so much. So you can see that she dwell mostly on the language barrier side of things, which is very common. I mean, with our business, like you rightly said, you can also do the business in another language. Yes, business is in English, but our system had functions where you can actually interpret those languages, English language, to your own language. So in other words, you can still run our online business even if you cannot speak English, because you don't live in England where they speak English, or in an English speaking country. Though the training is all written in English, we have at least, I think it's more than 20 languages that you can actually convert English into, and you can still communicate with your own audience, your own targeted audience, because everybody we go for their like. It's like your look alike. If I'm marketing, I might feel comfortable marketing to people of color, because they will understand from my point of view where I'm coming from. Not to say that other people who are not people of color will not understand it, but for me personally, I might come across better to somebody who is my color, will relate better with my experience than somebody who haven't gone through that experience ever in their life before. So it is a barrier. Language is a barrier. We know that it's all over the world, but with this business, you don't actually need to be held back by language, because we have the system is already all done for you. So you pick your language. If you're a French speaking person, you pick French, and then you convert the English into French. And in that way, you can understand everything, the blueprint, every how this business work. And you can also now, pass that down to your downline and to your audience, whoever is your targeted audience. Does it mean that our, you know, people of other color cannot do the business, they can also do the business, and they can also leverage on everything that has been provided by the company. So yes, audience, viewers, thank you so much for that, and thank you, Sister Clem, for clarifying that. I'm gonna go to my next speakers. Catherine, over to you.
All right, thank you so much. It's really such a privilege to be here to share again with our audience, yeah, and obviously yeah, with my lovely African queens, yeah. So, well, my name is Catherine. For those that are meeting me for the first time, yeah, and I'm a radiographer by profession, and I live in the UK. But before I got to the UK, my story is slightly different from what my mummies have already shared. So I actually was born in Ghana, but at the age of 13, I moved to Italy, where my parents were living. My parents were already in Italy, and I joined them with my sister, and then another sister was born whilst I was in Italy. So my story was slightly different because obviously I didn't move out of Ghana due to employment or to go and seek employment, but to go and be reunited with my family, with my parents. But I kind of like connect a bit of the journey my parents have done that obviously have brought me to where I am today. Because, and I think sometimes and very often some of the choices that I make are also inspired and also yeah, triggered by seeing my parents live the life that they've lived and the hardship that they've gone through and how they've really tried their best to provide for us as kids and even provide for their extended family. And I feel like that kind of really relates to lots of people and also to what has already been shared here right now. So yeah, I see my parents that they put so much effort into obviously leaving their country, going to different man's country, and I see the struggles that they had been through. The barriers were great, like just as Sister Clement has shared. So Italy speak Italian. So the only thing, the only jobs that my parents could actually do at the time they moved to Italy was manual works because that was the only way they could, yeah, they could kind of like integrate into the system, trying to learn a new culture, trying to learn a new language. And yeah, but their main purpose there obviously was to become breadwinners for our family and also for the extended family. And sometimes, even though my story is different, obviously, from my parents' story, because I didn't have to struggle to get employment, at least at the beginning, as they did. But having lived in Europe, and I'm probably going to give my age away, for over 26 years, sometimes I feel like, yeah, the issues have kind of transited in a different way because, yes, by the privilege that God has given me, myself and my sisters, we've been able to get our education and be able to get into employment that is slightly different from what my parents obviously had. Because as I said, I'm a radiographer by profession. I used to be a dental nurse and then I went to go and study to become a radiographer. But I feel like at the end of the day, and that is actually what even took me from Italy to come to the UK. Because at the end of the day, I was still always looking for the greener pasture somewhere else. And it's always the case. We are always looking for the greener pasture somewhere else. And I'm not saying there's something wrong with that. Absolutely, there's nothing wrong with that because there are opportunities and privileges that God gave us. And when we move to a different country, we learn the culture. We try our best to adapt to the new environment that we are in, to learn absolutely in order to be able to integrate into the society. But I feel like when we come from different, like I've got different backgrounds. My Ghanaian background is there. I feel very much Italian. And being in the UK as well and learning how to adapt and engage with people differently here as well, all built up and really gives us a very rich background, especially know us as immigrants. I was about to say Italian word right now, but us as immigrants, I feel like and all these experiences, they really give us a rich culture. And we couldn't reach here without learning, without being open, obviously, to new experience. Because if my parents moved to Italy and they decided that they were going to be in their bubble and they were not going to integrate into the society, they were not going to learn, they were not going to get a job, they wouldn't have been able to thrive. Absolutely not. So when I see how obviously all this journey has been, and even considering what has also brought me obviously to start this digital business. Because as I said, I think one of the main things for me was seeing their journey. It has always been working with your time, your energy to be able to gain, absolutely, to be able to gain finance and have a wage. And it's always a trend. So it does not matter the fact that I have studied, I have learned, and I've got a professional job. I'm still using my time in order to gain a wage. But there's so much opportunities that we have online right now that we can invest some of our passive time in order to be able to gain extra income, which would then give us ease in different areas. To give us ease even in reaching out to helping people that our own salary is just enough, because with how things are going so expensive. You can realize that you want to help somebody back home, but you can't, because your finance is just what is enough just for yourself. So I feel like yeah, it's been trying really too. So even like being online, it's just like learning a new culture and adapting to a new culture and learning how to use the opportunities that we have, because the opportunities to really do better are available. And the internet really makes it really unlimited for us to be able to reach out and do much more and learn and upskill way more than where we are. So yeah, absolutely. Thinking about the journey that I have had as an immigrant from different countries and obviously where I am right now, and thinking about this online business, there's just so much ways that they all it kind of matches, because yeah, as I say, it's a new culture, and being open to learning into this new culture, as in being online and learning how you can best make good use of the opportunities that we have. They are absolutely there. And as my mommy Mary has already said, the training platform makes it so easy for us to be able to adapt to it, learn, and all you have to do is just plug into the system, and you're going to see different variety of people and how they are doing it, and you're going to learn your own way of how you're going to do it. But it's absolutely possible. So yeah, there is no limit to what we can do when we are open to learning something new. So yeah, I pass it back to you.
Absolutely. 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 There is no limit. So, guys, I can just, attest to this, because I remember when I came to the UK newly, and that was when they were using electronic monitor to monitor the baby in the womb. We don't have anything like that. I didn't train with anything like that back in my country where I was coming from. I haven't got a clue. So when I came, I was looking at the thing. It was just looking like some wiggly, wiggly, wiggly lines. I didn't know what it was. But it was later on that I then understand that actually there are some machine that you can actually just plug a woman in on, and then it will start tracing electronically, tracing, the baby's heart rate, recording it, telling you what the baby is up to, how the baby is, and I got fascinated, the fact that there is something that can do that, and I haven't seen that before. It got me interested. So I opened myself. I became coachable. I became, adaptable. I had to quickly reshape my reset my mindset. That's the word. To reset my mindset, because there's nothing new under the heaven, guys. See, everything that we're having now, new innovation, findings, no new development. There is nothing that is happening right now that hasn't happened before. It's just that it's been fine-tuned. Because it's been fine-tuned, that is why it's looking as if, oh, is this one fancy thing that we are doing on social media? No, it's not. Before we had social media, there were other ways that people were doing things. There were other way business are being done. There were other way people learn. Okay, so this social media thing, somebody will say to me, oh, I don't like face, I can't face the camera. Oh, I'm too shy. Oh, I'm too this, I'm too that. Those are just little excuses and barriers, they can actually come together and form a barrier that can hold you back from actually achieving your potential, from reaching out to that goal, setting that pace that you have actually ever dreamed to set for your children, that legacy that you're planning to leave behind for them, so that your children don't have to go through what you went through. Because with this business, it's willable as well. At some point, when you grow old and you cannot do the business anymore, you can easily pass it on to your generation, to come, your children, your children. They can carry on from where you stop. So, you know, there is opportunity for you to actually, excel in this business. All you need to do is come with an open mind, come with a mind that wants to learn, come with a mind, that wants to actually reach. Look at your why. We always have why. Every one of us have a why we actually doing what we're doing. If you look at your why, that is what will keep you going. Even in the days that you want to quit, when you look at, oh no, I don't want to go back there. I want to keep moving forward because I know there is something, at the end of the tunnel for me. Because the knowledge you have today, actually, you've gone one step ahead of somebody who are not at that point where you are. Because you know why? You have taken that courage. You have taken that leap of faith. You have determined to be successful. And that is what we are giving to you today, that look, you can do it. Every one of us can do it. Every one of us has got talent. We have something that God has created us with. We just need to open ourselves up and losing ourselves, and then go out, for that, thing that we desire to have. And yes, we're going to wrap it up today because we don't want to take much of your time. And we are saying you can overcome the barrier. So if you're still sitting on the fence, if you be going on social media and you be seeing us all the time, or seeing some other ladies talking about this business, it's the same business. There are so many of us doing this business. If it's not working, we will not all be here talking about it. It's because it's working, and we are all, excited about our business, and that is why we're bringing it to you. So come on this inside. All these beautiful ladies you're seeing on this platform, their contacts are there. Whether you're watching it live, whether you're going to watch the replay, follow our link, come on the inside, and we will see you when you come in the inside, and we'll do business together. So enjoy your Christmas if you're celebrating. And if you're not celebrating, still enjoy your time. This is a festive period. Every one of us are looking forward to holiday time where we can rest and have that lovely time with our families and loved ones. So until we come your way next time, thank you so much for listening to us, and God bless you. Merry Christmas in advance. So ladies, we call it a day.